As an adult, you're going to go through some things in your life that you're just going to feel isn't favorable to you. You're not happy about. It's going to hurt, suck. You're going to feel like it's unfair, all of the above. There's one thing that you can do that it won't dodge you from these things because it's a part of life, but it can allow you to look at them from a very different standpoint that can help you out from that bad moment, if you're going through one right now, to the rest of your life as you deal with certain situations that you'll come across. So it doesn't matter, right? Obviously, if you're old, young, rich, poor, beautiful, not that attractive, you're going to go through things in your life that you just don't like, and it's going to suck. They come in many different forms, many different shapes, many different sizes. Truth of the matter is, though, is that when these things happen in our lives, human nature, for some reason, many people, they do this. They start this blame campaign. They start to look at everyone or every situation, the current situation, past situations. They look at everything around them and say, that's the reason why this is happening to me. And if you do this, and I'm guilty of doing this as well, right? I'm not immune to this. Everyone does this from some time or another. But when I started to look at my life from a very different perspective, when things went wrong, I started to see a shift, not only in the results, but a shift emotionally within myself. See, when people start doing this blame game, what they're doing is they're actually robbing themselves from having the actual outcome that they want in their lives. The blame game starts to give energy to other things instead of doing the one thing that can help assist you in never feeling like this again. What you need to do is this. You need to obviously take responsibility, but even more so than taking responsibility, because that's something that most people don't do. Here's how you got to look at your situation. You got to look at your situation that you're in as a window showing you a weak spot in your life. You see, when we have bad times, and most of our bad times, they always fall under like these two different categories, because these two categories are pretty much the root of all the other categories in our lives, relationship wise and financially. Okay. When we have issues in our life, they are mostly rooted in these two things: relationship, financially. And instead of us looking at the situation and saying to ourselves, not only, yes, I take responsibility, but saying, what about this situation was I weakened? How could I have strengthened? How could I strengthen myself for the future so that I don't have to deal with this situation like this ever again? If you're in a financially bad situation, yeah, maybe you got laid off from work, or maybe your business isn't going in the direction that you wanted to go. In some way, shape, or form, you caused it. Yeah, maybe at your job, your boss had a favorite and you weren't the favorite. Or maybe, there were situations that you did not have any control over. Like, for example, the virus that happened a couple years ago, you didn't have no control over that. And if you had a business, yeah, you were affected. But if you look at certain situations, right, there were still some businesses that thrived, right? There are people today who aren't fired from their job or laid off from their job. And I'm not saying that either one of them are better than you. What I'm saying is that you've got to look at your situation and say, okay, cool. If I'm in a tough financial situation, here's the reason why. And you got to assess everything that's going on in your financial life to see and say, how can I get stronger here? This is the reason why I'm in this position, because I was weak. Okay, maybe you're in a relationship and your partner left you. That's a tough situation to be in. But say to yourself, what did I do to get here? Why am I even in this situation? Also, say to yourself, well, what could I have done to make this better? Or also, you can say to yourself, where was I weak? There was something that didn't, align with myself and my partner, and I contributed to it in some way, shape, or form. If I want to go into another relationship, if that's your goal, you want to have another relationship, and I think human nature, we need that, right? We want to be able to we want to be able to have relationships, with people to share our lives with. How are you going to be able to go into that next relationship without looking at yourself and saying, what did I do in the past when it didn't work out that I can make sure to look forward to in the future? See, most people don't do that. Yeah, that's taking responsibility, but look at it as strengthening your weakness. Because yeah, you can just word it and verbalize, I'm taking responsibility. Taking responsibility of what and why? Where were you weak? And I don't mean that in a way to try to belittle you. No, I'm saying it's like a weak spot in your game. If you played a sport, if you play basketball, okay, if you run fast, if you can jump high, but you can't necessarily play that good of a defense and you don't have a good jump shot. Well, if you're 6'6" and you can run fast and you can jump high, that may only get you so far, and you may even get cut off of a team. However, if you're able to take your game and analyze it and say, well, I have the height, I have the athletic ability. If I got my jump shot right and I was able to play some decent defense, I could probably make it to the NBA. Look at your life that way. Are you weak? And I don't want to point out specific situations. I'm talking in generality, because I want you to know that you are in control of maybe not the outcome of every situation, but you're in control of your emotions toward every situation. The moment you allow your emotions to take over and you start to blame everything and everybody for what's going on in your life, you now just gave that power, the superpower of your tough moment, to someone else. Your tough moment is your superpower. Like the basketball player. When he realizes or she realizes that they got to get their jump shot right and their defense correct, it goes from being cut off from their varsity high school team to potentially going to a professional league and changing your financial life forever. You look at your life right now and say, if I just strengthen X, Y, and Z in my life because I realize this is where I've been weak and I keep falling short, you'll realize if you strengthen up those small portions of your life, you're going to go that much farther. Don't give away your superpower. Don't blame anybody for your shortcomings. Look at them and say, where am I right now? Why am I here? What did I do to get here? And all the weak spots that put me in this situation are all the learning lessons that I need to move forward to get to the goal that I have. Now, when you don't do that, you're going to begin a loop. Most people, what they do is they allow themselves to get in this funk of blaming because it's easy. It feels really good to just let everyone around them or everything around them take the blame, and it's not their own issue as to why they're in the situation that they're in. If they take that onus and own the situation, it don't feel that good. It's uncomfortable. They don't like that. That's why when you look at the majority of the people that are in the world today, they are in this never-ending loop. Year after year, their life just stays the same and the same. And I've heard this from many successful people before. Life is never on a flat playing field. You're either going up or you're going down. And if you think you're on this flat playing field, no, you're actually really slightly going down. The world we live in is consistently evolving. Nothing stays the same. So if you're not on an incline in your life, you're going to slowly be on a decline in your life. One of the ways to get yourself out of that situation is always assessing where you are weak. You cannot give that superpower of your bad times away into and give it to the blaming campaign. Now you're saying to yourself, well, how can I spot out some of these weak points in my life? first you have to be aware that you've got an issue. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. We all, no one on earth is perfect. Here's the good thing. Everyone has some sort of strength, but everyone also has some sort of weakness. So you should not feel ashamed. Know that you have a strength, and also know that you've got some weaknesses, and feel really good that when you get these weaknesses understood, now you can strengthen your game to be A1 and take your whole life to a whole nother level. But how do you do that? You're gonna have to get some third party, and what I mean by third party is some quality third party voices that you respect and they understand your situation from maybe a professional level. And I'm talking about therapy. Maybe you may need to go to a therapist and talk about your situation. And when you have a third party come and help you take a look at your situation, they can spot out better than you can where you might have gone wrong. See, that's another thing that most people don't like to do. They don't like to put themselves in a situation where they now have to look, someone showing them where they went wrong. That's too uncomfortable for most. Don't be like most. Do everything that you can to find that weak spot to strengthen your game. Go get help. Go see or talk to somebody who's qualified. You might have a friend or a relative, or a teacher or somebody that you have a high level of respect for, that they may have gone through some of the situations that you're currently going through right now. And you may value their voice. Talk to them. Talk to a therapist. Or something that's really easy to do. I mean, we're in 2023 when this video is being shot. Go on YouTube. Look, you could go on YouTube and search your situation that you're in right now. And you know what you're going to find? You're probably going to find a bunch of videos of people discussing how to get through certain situations. Again, I just said, when this video was taken, 2023. That means that at least 2023 years has gone on with people living on this earth. More likely than not, you ain't the first one going through whatever you're going through right now. Someone, some two, some three, some five, some thousands probably have gone through it already. Utilize that history and the knowledge of others to help you get through what you're going through. Most people, they sit, they blame, they don't do any sort of research. They sit in the corner and complain, and that's it. They shut themselves off from the world and do not look at, they want to push away all of the bad stuff that's going on in their life and try to, drown their minds in some sort of distractions to get them out of the feeling that they have. Run into the feeling. Don't run from the feeling. Run into the feeling. Run into the situation that you're in. Learn about it. See where you can strengthen where you are weak to get you out of it. That way you could look back at the situation in your rearview mirror and say, I'm happy that I dealt with it the way that I did. I'm happy that I didn't blame anybody in my life or around me or blame a situation for where I am, because I would have never learned that lesson to get me out of the situation that I'm in and help me get to this next level in my life, which is actually my dream life. It's where I wanted to be. It's where I needed to be, but I couldn't get here without looking at where I was weak in my previous situation. And guess what's going to happen next? When you get to that new level, of course, there's going to be new things that's going to pop up as issues. But the difference now is that you're going to look at this situation from a completely different standpoint. You're going to have experience to say to yourself, man, I gotta see where I'm weak here. There's something that I did wrong. You're not even gonna go into the blame game is over. You're gonna see how much taking onus of the past situation helped you to get here, that the last thing you're gonna wanna do is blame anybody or blame a situation for where you're at. You're gonna now take this brand new issue that has arrived in your life and you're gonna say to yourself, oh, I'm about to level up again. Yeah, I'm gonna level up some more. So for everyone that's watching, just take into consideration that your issues are meant to strengthen where you are weak. I really hope that you got something from this video, because this is a message that I know I needed to hear myself, and sometimes I need to hear it over and over again. If you like this message, I would say share it with somebody that you think may be going through something. I want to see anyone and everyone get to those next levels of their life. So do me a favor, do yourself a favor, do your friends or family a favor, share the video. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel. And if you have other things that you would probably want to hear from, let me know, or hear about, let me know, that and maybe help you with a situation that you might be going through. Drop a message inside of the comments, and I appreciate you. See you soon.